Hello, welcome back to another video. In the previous video we saw that how to install SQL Server and SSMS. Now also on that video I have shown that how to create a database. You have to use the create command to create a database, and then you have to use the keyword database as well, and then you can give your database name. So when you will select this one and execute, this database will be created that I have shown. Okay, so in the database section you can see there is a database diagram, table, view, external resources, synonymous, programmability, query store, service blocker, storage, and security. So all these things are related to database. So if you don't know what is database, so let me explain that one first, because we need to know that what is database. So a database is an organized collection of structured data that can be easily stored, managed, and updated. Okay, databases are used to store information in a way that allow for efficient retrieval and the manipulation. They can store a varied types of data, such as the customer information. It can store the financial records, it can store the product catalogs, and many more data it can hold. Okay, so as you can see, this one is the one type of when we are using the SQL Server. So this one is the relational database. So a database can be of different types. For example, relational database, NoSQL database, cloud database. Okay, so let's talk about the relational database. In case of relational database, it stores the data in table with the relationship between them. So as you can see that there is we have a table section, right? And at this point of time we will not be able to see any kind of table inside it, because we have not created our own table. So in the section, as you can see that this is actually containing several different types of sections. That is the system table, file table, external table, graph table, right? So if we'll open its system table, there is nothing is there. Okay, right? So you have to create the table, then you will be able to see that table. So we have not created the table in our database yet. Okay, so this one is nothing but in SQL Server it is using actually relational database. So if someone will ask you, give me some example of relational database, so you can see the MySQL, SQL Server, Oracle database. So these are some relational database. So other than the relational database, we have NoSQL database. So it stores data in various formats, for example document format, key value pair format, without restrict the relationships. For example, MongoDB, Cassandra. So these are some example of NoSQL database. Also, other than this one, we have the cloud database. That means databases hosted on the cloud platform like AWS or Azure or Google Cloud. So we can also use the same relational database in our cloud database as well, which is actually the uses the platform AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud. Okay, so you may think that a database, how can we use a database? So in practical scenario, a database, if you want to create a e-commerce website, you might want to store the customer information, their name, email addresses. You want to store the product details, where it can store the name of the product, price, and the description. It can hold an order, so you can create the table for that orders, for the customer, product, total cost. You want to store that. So to store this kind of information for the e-commerce website, you need a relational database. You can store those information in the database. So that's why we need a database. Okay, so specifically if we want to know that why you use the database, for efficient data management, it allows larger amount of data to be stored and retrieved quickly. Also, it is important for the data integrity. What does it mean? It ensures the accuracy and the consistency of the data, because if your data will not handle properly, then integrity will be not there in your data. So that will be the major problem in file based system or Excel based system. Also, it's always important that security, one of the aspects of the our security is one of the concern, that is the control access to data through permission. So who can access the data, which user should access that data. So that's why we need to focus on the security as well. So security is one of the major aspects of the database management studio. Also scalability, for example, your e-commerce website is handling 10,000 users, but in later point of time in future the number of user can increase, it can go till million, because we know that in social media website millions of users actually visit at the same point of time, but it's not affecting the main product or main website, right? So that's why if you want to scale, then scalability also one of the major aspects in case of database. So can grow with the size of the data and the business needs. So we have to focus on that as well, right? So now let me talk about some key concepts of the database that we are going to use in later our point of our tutorial series. We'll use the keyword data very frequently. What does it actually mean? Data means the actual information stored, such as the name, numbers, or any other values that is the associated with a person, which is actually a meaningful information that is actually called the data, right? And there can be two types of data. One is the raw data, and it can be converted to information. For example, when you are saying two is nothing but raw data, but when you will attach a meaning to it, that means if I'll say 2 is the year of a boy, so that is a meaningful data now, right? Also, we also know that database management system, so people will call DBMS itself. So what is DBMS? DBMS is nothing but the software used to manage and interact with the database. Popular example including the SQL Server, MySQL, Oracle, PostgreSQL. So these are some popular software which is used to manage and interact with the database. So this will nothing but the database management system. Okay, and always we inside the database we need to create the table. In relational database, data is stored in table in the form of rows and columns, where each table represents a specific entity. That is the customer. It can be a customer related table, it can be a order related table. Okay, so these are some entity. Also, to retrieve the data from the table itself, we need to use some queries. Okay, so we need to write some queries for it. So as you can see, this one is nothing but a query, and this query will help you to create a table. And a query can be different types of query. It can be DML means data manipulation, DDL. So this type of queries are there. We'll discuss it in later. So actually queries is nothing but the structured query language. So this one also having its own language by which we are following some rules and regulations for creating the queries. This is nothing but the SQL. This is the language to retrieve and manipulate the data. Okay, so we'll discuss about each and every query in our later videos slowly in our code. Okay, also you'll heard about the schemas. Also you'll be able to heard about the schemas. Schemas is nothing but the structure that defined how the data is organized in a table, including the table, columns, or relationship between tables. So this is nothing but the schema of the table. Okay, so slowly we'll see each and everything, but this is the overview what is the database and some key concepts, types of database, why we require database. Okay, so a database is a fundamental way to any system that requires storage, organizing, and it will help you to easy access to data. So if you have any question regarding the database, you can ask it in the comment section. See you in the next one. Till then, take care. Bye bye.